Alright, it's Jordan here, back again with the third episode of our European exclusive physical Switch releases. We're 40 down, we've got 40 more to go. This week I've got a random selection of 20 games, some good, some not so good. Just remember, I'm only talking about retail releases, so no low print companies here, no super rare, no first press. Let's delve in and see what we've got this week. Yesterday Origins is a really nice adventure game, a modern day point and click style game set in between the ages. Well, I think so. It's been years since I reviewed this and my mind is a little bit foggy right now, but I do remember quite liking this a lot despite the lack of humor, which I appreciate in these Broken Sword, Monkey Island type of games. Still, this can be found rather cheaply these days. Valthirian Arc is a cheap, cheerful RPG from P-Cube, one of their handful of games that they allowed to stay as a European exclusive. They featured in this list more times than Americans would like. This is a cute game where you help build a school for heroes and send them out on missions. It's not the best game on the system, that's for sure, but one that has a bit of charm about it, and it won't break the bank. Believe it or not, none of the Syberia games have released in North America, at least from what I can find. There's a hint of the third game, but I've never seen it. So yeah, Syberia 1, 2, 3, plus the 1 and 2 double pack and the 1, 2, 3 triple pack. Classic adventure games. If you can show me a proper physical photo of a North American release, hit me up on Twitter, because I'm not entirely sure about this one. State of Mind is a pretty swell looking sci-fi thriller. If you're looking for a compelling story, then this is a good one to look at if you're in North America, and it's not a physical that would cost an arm and a leg these days. Redeemer is a top-down brutal action game. Many consider it to be a bit of a brawler, a bit of a twin-stick shooter. Expect a lot of gore, plenty of environmental kills. This is a fun time if you're into brutal murder. Perhaps this was considered a bit too bloody and a bit too menacing for store shelves in North America, but then again it's not exactly common on European shelves either. Super Chariot is a cheap, exclusive physical from Microids. It's a 2D platformer kind of a game where you can be playing in solo or co-op. It was reviewed rather pleasantly too, so it's a decent one to add to the collection. It should even come with a lenticular sleeve, and you know as collectors we can't resist shiny things. And just remember guys that we have purchase links below as to where you can find each of these games if you're around the world and need to bolster your collection. Some from Amazon, some from PlayAsia, which if you use those links you can support us at the same time, massively so. And if you use those links, especially the PlayAsia ones, then you can also get 5% off any physical item from PlayAsia if you use the coupon code SwitchWatchTV while checking out. That's all one word, SwitchWatchTV, for 5% off any physical item from PlayAsia. And we thank you ever so much for your wonderful support. But of course, not all these games are in stock in the usual places anymore, so you may have to look on eBay or maybe Facebook Marketplace. Sorry about that. Aggelos is a great little action platformer. A game that was once so ridiculously cheap to buy has now shot up in price now that North Americans found out about this little retro inspired gem. I've always wanted to pick this up physically, but that was when I thought I had all the time in the world to pick it up super cheap. How wrong I was, and how bitter I still am. 9 Monkeys of Shaolin is an interesting side-scrolling beat-em-up. This is one I should probably get because I'm like just down the road from the Shaolin Temple. A fun example of the genre, but apparently the Switch version is a little bit addled with technical issues, at least that's what I've heard, but still a fascinating release for the collection. Can you believe the original Little Nightmares never got a physical release in North America? A travesty considering its quality, but Bandai be Bandai. If you want some creepy ass horror, then look no further. I know people hated the load times in the first game, but it's still an excellent game nonetheless. Highly recommended to be imported if you're in North America. Blazblue Central Fiction is a top quality fighting game on the Nintendo Switch, featuring tons of content, modes, characters and great animation. If you're a fighter fan, you should probably own this physically. Even if you're a button mashing virtuoso like myself, you still need it in your collection. It's a great game. The European version can be a little hard to come by these days, so maybe settle for the Japanese version, which is readily available. Songbird Symphony suffered pretty much the same fate as Aggelos, which I actually think they released on the same day. However, this can still be found for a semi-decent price, although not quite the $10 some sites were trying to flog it for a few years ago. Yet again, a retro-style pixel adventure game, very sweet, very charming, worth having in your collection. Furwind is a pixel platformer that looks great. I believe Juan reviewed it. back in the day, so be sure to check out that review for more information, but from what I remember, it didn't quite hit the mark for him. It actually came in a mini special edition, which isn't easy to get a hold of in decent condition these days. Ginger Beyond the Crystal, I think, was exclusive to Europe. I say I think because it's really hard to even find the European version, so maybe there's a North American release lurking somewhere, but I doubt it. Anyways, this is a terrible 3D platformer, one of the worst rated that I've ever seen, probably worth a purchase for that alone. Trax the Train Set game, I've got to be honest, this looks amazeballs. I remember playing with these kind of toys when my mom wanted to look around the store, and they had like these type of things like in the corner of the shop to, keep kids quiet. I'm kind of ashamed that I don't have this in my collection already because it looks fantastic. Ultrawings is a game one will probably compare to Nintendo's very own Pilot Wings, a series often neglected by the Big N. An open world, aerial themed game where you pilot an ultralight, G-Racer, rocket-powered glider, and sports plane to complete a variety of challenges across a beautifully stylized island-themed world. I don't know if it's any good, but I suspect that this has got a lot of people interested. Jelly Break is a casual cooperative action platformer, a game that actually looks semi-decent quality judging from the trailer. Simple but solid affair if you want some 3D platformer top-down shooting action in your life that you can play with a young one in tow. Super Putty Squad did release physically in North America, but only as a code in a box. If you want a proper cartridge, then take a look at the European physical. This is a pretty average platformer, not one to clamber for, but the art style is really unique. It's both horrendous and rather appealing at the same time. I don't know how they managed that, but it's worth commending for that alone. YouTubers Life OMG, now that is the kind of title that makes me want to vomit in my own shoes and then wear them to a wedding. Customize your characters, start a channel with gaming, music or cooking, then bring in that sweet ad revenue until you can buy a mansion. Where's my mansion? Fimbul is a broken ass game, weak action, full of bugs and glitches. I believe we got some poor sod to review this for us back in the day, so pay some respect to that and give it a watch to see what it's all about. Now this is kind of like Troll and I territory. Lovecraft's Untold Stories is an atmospheric twin-stick shooter that works where it counts, offering solid gameplay with roguelike elements and RPG-ness. It's got a bit of something for everyone. This comes fairly cheap in a collector's edition that is still readily available, unlike its sister title, Hard West. Don't miss out on this one. And there we have it, 20 physical releases that North America didn't get, but Europe did. All chosen at random. Please like it, please watch it, please share it. Links are below if you want to purchase anything. If physicals are your thing, then remember every Monday I tell you all the physical releases coming to the Switch so you don't miss a thing. Thanks to our executive producers Dane Wilkinson, God of Resident Boombox, Brent McLean, Jonathan Rumo, Santa Tartaruga, Alexander Cato, J-Cross7776, Elissa, Punky Deuster, Michael Del Polito, Cigar Trucker, Cartoon Soren, Jack Severus, Vilos, and Robotech. Thank you ever so much for your wonderful, amazing support. If you watched all the way through, then you are amazing too, a massive legend. Give me a fist bump in the comments so I know who you are. I'll see you guys next week for the final episode.